generations of pain that are barely below the surface on the day-to-day. Now, some are planning protest here. And as the superintendent said yesterday, under his leadership, the department has been hard at work developing authentic relationships to restore trust with our communities. And the superintendent and his team, as well as myself and my team, we have continued that important engagement, working, of course, with protest organizers, community leaders, faith leaders, and more to make sure that we keep the channels of communication flowing, keep folks safe, and give space to those who want to peacefully exercise their First Amendment rights and demonstrate their righteous anger. Let me remind all of us, this is Chicago, and we've been through difficult times before. We haven't forgotten the days following the release of the video showing the murder of Laquan McDonald and following the deaths of too many other names, both before that time and after, that we can now recite as a painful mantra. Chicago is known for its legacy of spearheading bold yet peaceful protest movements. We must also have all necessary plans in place to keep things safe, to protect people, property, and lives, and above all, to remind people that we are protesting amid a viral outbreak. Now, what I'm next going to say, I recognize the irony of. But folks, please march, exercise your rights, but wear face coverings. Bring hand sanitizers. Ensure distance between one another, even as you're marching. If you feel sick, please stay home. And remember that you could also be COVID positive and be asymptomatic. Now, it's impossible for me as a black woman who has been the target of blatant racism over the course of my life, not to take the killing of George Floyd personally. Watching that poor man beg for his life and for the ability to breathe, and then watching the life leave him there on the streets, I felt angry, I felt sickened, and a range of other emotions all at once. Being black in America should not be a death sentence. We should not fear for the lives of our loved ones, and mothers shouldn't fear when their young men and women go out into the world that they're going to get that fateful call. And let me say one other thing. Donald Trump's comment last night was profoundly dangerous. And we must stand in firm solidarity and say this is totally unacceptable, no matter who is the speaker. And folks, we see the game he's playing because it's so transparent and he's not very good at it. He wants to show failures on the part of Democratic local leaders to throw red meat to his base. His goal is to polarize, to destabilize local government and inflame racist urges. And we can absolutely not let him prevail. And I will code what I really want to say to Donald Trump. It's 2 words. It begins with F and it ends with U. I will not remain silent while this man cynically tries to turn this incredibly painful moment into one for his own political gain. And let me end this comment by saying the following. I continue to pray for the family of George Floyd and for the city of Minneapolis. And I pray for all of us to find peace in this difficult and painful time. And I pray for a new day in our nation when we have eradicated these plagues that we face, COVID-19 and racism. Now, let me turn to the reason that we are here today. First, let me acknowledge Alderman Riley, who has been a tremendous support and leader on a range of issues, and particularly as we think about how we reopen safely and support our businesses at the same time. That too can be said of Illinois Restaurant Association President Sam Toya, who is here with us again, and Blanca Soto, Executive Director of the Little Village Chamber of Commerce, Stephanie Hart, who is going to kill me with her sweets that are so unbelievably good, the owner of Brown Sugar Bakery, which is part of our 75th Street corridor, and Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protections Commissioner Rosa Escareno, who's a true public servant, Department of Transportation Commissioner Gia Biaggi, who's brought an important and fresh perspective to all things transportation, and of course to Dr. Allison Arwady, who's here with us. Since the COVID-19 crisis reached our city, we have made sure to be deliberate and intentional in every decision we've made. And that continues still as we take our first steps into phase 3 of our reopening process. For us to be successful, for you to be successful as a city and resident of the city, we all must be smart and act in a thoughtful way that's mutually supportive and respectful of the needs of our public health and our city's economy. For example, in order to open our offices and other businesses, we made sure our childcare and in-home family daycare facilities were available so our workforce would have the support they need to be away from home. It is in that same spirit that we are announcing our new Open Streets program. This plan reimagines Chicago's roads in 2 key ways. First, is to simply allow our residents as much space as possible to maintain the safe physical distancing needed as they leave their homes and go about their daily lives. We all know how hard it is on busy sidewalks, and this simply makes this effort easier. Greater details about which streets will be used for that purpose will be coming in the next days as Commissioner Biaggi and her team continue engaging with key stakeholders, elected officials, and most importantly, community members throughout Chicago. This administration believes in conversation, collaboration, and we would see nothing less in announcing this new initiative. Now, the second aspect of our Open Streets transformation program is to help our small businesses, particularly our neighborhood restaurants, have the extra space that they need to safely welcome their customers and get their operations back on track as quickly and safely as possible. What this means is that in the coming week, 6 pilot roads will be closed, and our restaurants will be allowed to move tables and chairs into streets, parking lots to accommodate their guests. These pilot streets will be located in key corridors across our city to provide much needed relief to businesses of all size, all of which were selected based on location, proximity to local businesses and residents, and evaluation of the impact on traffic. These streets were also selected in close coordination with the Illinois Restaurant Association, local chambers of Congress, and local chambers of commerce and local aldermen. And let me specifically thank Alderman Riley, Sawyer, Tunney, Rodriguez, Cardenas, Irvin, and Burnett for their partnership, feedback, and support of local restaurants and businesses. And I'm pleased to announce today that the 6 pilot streets include 75th Street from Calumet to Indiana Avenue in Chatham, Broadway from Belmont Avenue to Diversey Parkway in Lakeview, 26th Street from Central Park to Harding Avenue in Little Village, Rush Street from Oak Street to Cedar Street in the Russian Division District, Taylor Street from Loomis Street to Ashland Avenue in the near west side, and Randolph Street in the West Loop. Based on the success of these initial pilot projects, we hope that we will be able to expand to other potential areas of the city. In the meantime, businesses that are interested in participating in this program can visit the city website, chicago.gov, starting June 1st to submit an application for the 2020 Expanded Outdoor Dining Program. Additionally, as part of the city's ongoing efforts to help small businesses, Commissioner Escareno and the BACP is working with aldermen to determine how best to deliver efficient and straightforward permitting process. It is important that we show how outdoor dining can be done in a safe, orderly way, and done in a way that helps our businesses while allowing our residents a little rest and relaxation in an incredibly stressful time. We cannot allow these open streets to turn into
regards
streets.
to perhaps any additional federal help, or what might.
What I'm concerned about is the President of the United States using his bully pulpit to foment violence. That's what I'm concerned about. There's no other way that you can read that tweet than fomenting, encouraging violence against residents in a city or in cities across the country who are expressing themselves and exercising their First Amendment rights. Nobody's going to sit and condone looting and violence, but to blanketly say, as the President of the United States, that you're encouraging people to be shot in the street, that's what I'm concerned about. And frankly, everyone should be concerned about that. That's not leadership. That's cowardice. That's playing to a base with the biggest dog whistle possible.
Back on the original why we're here topic, I just got this information.